This past weekend, you nearly completed a last to first challenge in Nashville, going from 25th to 3rd by race's end, and all of this after a significant crash in practice. So, first of all, how are you feeling after, all the things that happened this past weekend?
I am definitely finally. I think today the soreness is starting to go on the mend. It's getting better now. I'm still sleeping 10 plus hours every day. The body is truly going through the recovery process, healing everything. But it's a good feeling. I was just trying so hard because that weekend, that practice, it was just so heavy, and we were in the championship battle, and there's just so much on it. And I've never driven that hard before, especially dealing with all the injuries and having to deal with that pain just progressively getting worse by the end of the race. But we pushed through and we got a podium. It was a good result in the end, and it makes me feel good that for these 2 weeks off, I get to be happy that I'm sitting here in pain instead of being sad and being in pain.
Yeah, no kidding. And would you mind walking me through this past Saturday from your perspective?
Yeah, so Saturday was stressful in a way that was different than what I'm used to. I wasn't able to deal with the stress of qualifying. Normally, qualifying is always very stressful, but I had the stress of right after the crash. So I hit my knee so hard on the steering wheel that I actually popped it off, which was unreal. And the crash itself, I think it was 60, 70 G's on the car. I think head took almost like 100 G's. So another concern was my brain, to take that much of an impact. But thankfully, the direction that I hit it, the way my head moved, actually the brunt of the impact was taken by my neck. So my neck was a little bit sore, but my head, I did all the concussion tests. I did everything. I felt I was still switched on, and I passed everything with flying colors, better than before. Everything response rate was incredible. So they cleared me from that. But I had to go straight to the hospital right after the injury to get MRI scan, CT, and X-ray because we had to make sure bones were okay, ligaments were okay to get any sort of clearance to drive in the car. And we went and did all those scans. Thankfully, everything came back clean. We went back, and then it was the opportunity of, okay, so now that I'm cleared to race, I need to make sure I can get in and out of the car with all these injuries that I don't, it's going to hurt, but as long as I can safely get out and into the car, then I know if the car's on fire and there's something more severe, that I'm going to be okay. So we had to get clearance of that test. We had to do one more goggle test to really make sure the head is okay because normally symptoms kind of build after some hours. Again, cleared it with flying colors and back in the car in practice. Thankfully, I had Scott and Joseph, incredible teammates. They gave me a good car, and yeah, we went and practiced and topped the times in practice. So it was a stressful day, and let's say I slept very good that night as well.
Yes, and obviously everybody is glad that you're doing a lot better this week, and thankfully you'll have a couple weeks until your next race, which, as we both know, is coming up here in Portland. So when you come to Portland International Raceway, what's the first thing you think of?
First thing I think of when I think about Portland, I think it has to be that special turn one, right? Turn one is something that is so difficult to kind of get connected with and get across. But once you do, it's a very good feeling, and obviously there's so much time and pace there. So I always think of the famous turn one, and personally to me, it might not be something that a lot of people talk about, but for me, I don't know what it is, but I always make the unforgettable memories with the fans here at Portland. And I know the fan autograph session location where it's at, I think it's just the fan base that I have over there. They always get me gifts that are the ones that when I look back at the season, I'm like, wow, these are ones that I cherish and remember and will hang up somewhere in my house.
Gotcha. And just out of curiosity, like what kind of gifts are we talking about?
Well, recently I got a gift where somebody made because this new nickname that's been building is Chef Dave, and it's this kind of glass sculpture where they've written my name with like melted bent glass. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but it's spelled Chef Dave, and there's a little like glass turbo snail in the corner. I mean, some pretty incredible stuff. Like
Wow.
it blows my mind away, and they tell me that the amount of time they spent working on it, and but it means a lot to me, to show that support, and for me, it gives me that extra drive to go out there and to go and get some results.
Yeah, I bet. It's always nice to know the folks that are behind you pulling for you every week and also seeing a physical manifestation of the work that they're willing to put in to show for you. So that's really cool. Obviously, I saw that you visited Portland a few times in the ladder system with victories in both the Pro Mazda Championship and Indy Next at this track. So, what is it about Portland for you that suits your driving style?
Well, Portland, it's something that I guess in the beginning I struggled with, going into the Road to Indy series, but now being here in IndyCar, being there so many years, it's one that I look forward to quite a bit. And I think what just makes it so unique is that infield section. I was saying earlier that the infield section almost feels like one corner, from 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way. When you come when you come through there. Sorry, I saw my opportunity. But when you come through that section, it's all just this one flowing corner. However you enter, however you set up turn four, it's going to affect you in turn seven. And I feel like it's so technical, so difficult in that perspective. But when you get it right, it feels so good, and you're going to find a lot of time and pace when you do. If you get it wrong, well, it's you should just skip that lap and go to the next one.
Indeed, it's a very flowy course that relies on a lot of rhythm, it seems like. Um, Twice coming up the ladder system, you finished second in the championship in points, once to Linus Lundqvist in Formula Regional Americas, and later to Kyle Kirkwood in Indy Lights. You currently stand second in the NTT IndyCar Series point standings right now. So, first of all, what did you pick up from those defeats that you intend to implement in these next half dozen events?
Well, it's there's a lot to add to that list. There's been a lot of seconds in my career, really trying to push for those wins. But with each one, it's something that you always learn from, right? You learn more from your losses than you do your wins. And I'm becoming a better driver every single racetrack that we go to. And going off of Portland, with IndyCar, it comes a lot into strategy into play on overcuts, undercuts, and thankfully I have an incredible team behind me with Travis Law. Um, but a lot of it's just going to have to be that consistency. I think with issues that I've had in the past is, I lose that position from any next, for example, I lose that position coming into turn one. And I try so aggressively using my push to pass to try to get this pass done back as early as possible and not really thinking long term. So the whole goal is that no matter what happens early on, you lose a position here or there, you're not really winning a race at that point. You're winning it at the end. So it's going to be always focusing long term, thinking at the end of the race, where am I going to be?
Gotcha. Try to be as calculated and as prepared as possible, it sounds like.
Yes.
Gotcha. So, taking it back a couple years, there were a lot of articles and speculation coming out surrounding your future in the sport. And this season, obviously, you make your debut with Team Penske. So, would you mind telling me a little bit more about how these last few years have unfolded from your perspective?
It has been for sure the most stressful years of my life, but I think it was the kind of the foundation years to set me up for the rest of my life. It was something that each year I aged 10 years when it comes from maturity and things that I needed to learn in life. But it's really set me up. I think without everything that happened in 24 to 25, I would not be the driver capable, I think, of being here at Team Penske and able to get these performances and get these results for the team. I do believe everything happens for a reason. All those things happened to me for that reason, and it helped me hone in. Help me hone in on the things that truly matter to me, and to really go out there and try that much harder. When you come through these events, these issues that you have, any problems, I always tell myself I'm going to find a solution for it. And when I think back, let's say to Nashville, right, we have this big crash, knee is in crisis. Well, I've had many problems in the past. I found solutions to all of them before. Most importantly, 2024, my wrist was in much worse shape than this knee was, and I found a solution for it. So this is going to be no different. I'm going to find a solution. And having that mindset, it almost is like I don't really want to say manifestation, but you are setting yourself up for success, right? When you truly believe in something, and in my mind, there wasn't a doubt that I wasn't going to be back in the car for practice too. It wasn't a doubt in my mind I would be racing, and we it happens. I'm there, I'm racing, and I'm pushing for it. But I feel like if I had that mindset of, this needs to be a big deal, it's not going to happen, I'm not going to be in that car, then most likely I'm not going to be in that car. Whatever you truly tell yourself, that's truly what's going to happen.
Indeed, and I think that's a good way to live. Moving on here, last year, Willpower averaged a 12.23 average finish and came home ninth in the point standings with 357 total points. Right now, you have a 6.25 average finish and 374 points on the board with six races to go. So, in what ways do you feel that you've been able to improve your craft since you started working with the folks on the 12 team?
Oh boy, I mean the crew that's here at Team Penske is just unbelievable. You know, these guys, you know, and a lot of people on my 12 crew are also on this younger side, so I just can connect with them so well. You know, we're on that Gen Z slang, but it we have this chemistry that's building, and there's just so many resources at my disposal that helps me achieve 110% of my potential, right? And I think that's what makes it so special. You know, if there's any issues, there's any thoughts that I have, any overthinking going from practice on Friday to going into qualifying and practice two for Saturday, you know, there are three or four guys not sleeping that whole night, running simulations, running through ideas and opportunities for me that in the morning I can wake up and be spoiled, get my full nights of rest, get a nice little breakfast going and everything all nutritioned up. And then I get to go there and they say, hey, we haven't slept all night and we just had, you know, some fast food. But you know, we worked that whole night to get these answers for you. And having that support, that feeling, I mean, it's I can't even put it into words. And then that connection that forms between these people, it's really special. And for me, like I owe them everything, right? All these results I'm getting is because of them. You know, now in the morning I wake up, I have all this information in front of me and say, okay, now I know exactly what I need to do, and there's no overthinking. And now I'm going into qualifying with a clear mind. And when you do that, the results come. You go into the race with a clear mind, you do that, you get the results.
Gotcha. And yeah, I mean, it's obviously super important to make sure that you have a cohesive unit behind you. And honestly, the way you made it sound like a general in the military. Just having all the colonels and everybody get everything set up for you there, and like you said, prevents you from overthinking. So one thing I am super curious about, though, is because you have ample experience in both eras, what would you cite as the key differences between the previous engine package without the hybrid unit and the current one with it?
Oh boy, key differences. Well, you know, we're heavier, and that changes a lot of how the car feels, the way the car reacts, the way it's handling with tired egg. You know, you have the hybrid deployment, which in the beginning, I think it was a fair game and fun game to figure out what's the best hybrid strategy, what's the best place to deploy, what's the best place to regen. But now you have, you know, the brightest, one of the top brightest minds in motorsport, and everybody has that on each team, and everybody starts figuring out what's the best, and now everybody knows what the best strategy is. So everybody's pushing the buttons at the exact same time in the exact same places. So now that special factor has kind of went away. Everybody's already kind of achieving the best version of it. So now we're just pushing more buttons. We're more busy on the car. You know, maybe some people might forget to push the right button. So you have an opportunity there, but it's more just the way the car feels now. You know, before with different aero packages and lighter car, I mean, we were pushing top speeds, you know, and you're activating a different form of that tire. You're putting more pressure on that tire. The tire temp builds more. Now it's in a different type of tire, you know, changing the pressure of it, changing how much temperature you're putting in the tire really affects everything on how the car is going to feel, what the tire is going to do. And now, you know, it's a lot heavier. We're not going as fast in a few of these corners. I'm putting that pressure on the tire. The tire's acting different. So it's all just a different game. And, you know, I think since this hybrid system, this heavier car has come into form, it's something that people have found a lot of success in, like Polo, right? I mean, he just clicked onto it, he's latched onto it, and he understands it very well. So he's getting a lot of his success from it. So, um, yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to both, but at the end of the day, it's just a different package.
For sure. Something I feel like I've noticed is obviously the unit is on the rear of the car. So would you say that it's kind of like reduced the ability for the rear to kind of like slide a little bit and kind of like, travel a little bit more like it used to?
Yes, in the way that you want it to slide. Right now, if you're sliding the rear of the car, you're hurting the rear tires, and now you're losing that lifespan. So in the race, you have a few slides, and now your rear tires have lost all their grip, and now you're sliding everywhere. When before, you actually want the car to be sliding a little bit because it's lighter on the rear. You have more of that freedom, and it's not actually hurting the car. You're just getting more rotation out of it. So there's a lot of that, a lot of brains and thought that goes into it. Thankfully, I just turn left and right, and everybody else gets to do the thinking.
Gotcha. And just one last question here I have for you. So obviously outside of racing, got a lot of time on your hands, I'm sure. So what are some of the hobbies that you pick up on in your spare time?
Well, I used to have a lot of hobbies back in 2024, but a lot of those have kind of gone out the window. Now I try to be as careful as possible. The wrist is never going to be the same. When I have movement, my right wrist, the good wrist can move all this much, and my left one, I mean, that's all I got. Like I can't move it,
Yeah.
and so it's in a very, I guess, vulnerable state. So I mean, one wrong fall, one wrong movement, and I can flare back up again. So I just go to the gym. I'm in very controlled situations, and when it comes to things I enjoy to do, I've really gone into the realm of video games, right? Virtual stuff, doing things virtually, just being safe in my home and not really injuring myself. But yeah, who knows? I am trying to pursue something in golf because I feel like golf. If I get hurt in golf somehow, then I've really done messed up. But I think golf is a safe way to go into a sport direction where I'm still having a good time.
Don't see many torn ligaments in the golf game. That's true.
Well, I don't
Um,
want to jinx it. I don't want to say that
well,
because
yeah.
knowing my luck, I might. You never know.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, hey, you never know when the turf's gonna just reach up and grab your foot. So I guess
Yeah.
that's a good point. What video games particularly have you been keying in on?
Well, right now I'm playing a lot of FIFA,
Ah,
FC. I mean, it's World Cup. I'm a big soccer guy, so that's just been the time that I get. And it's a quick game too. I get an hour, 2 hours here or there. It's the perfect game to turn on, play a little bit, and move on to the next.
gotcha. Sounds good. Well, obviously, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to, meet with us. And obviously, we wish you luck in the weekend ahead here. And did you have any questions for me? I always try to turn the table back on you at the end.
No, all good, Tanner. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.